So where we were last time is you guys were east of Lonelywood in the forest. You found your way to a moon elf tomb. You guys had tracked down a very angry moose and an even angrier winter druid, and you quickly dispatched of both of them. So that's actually where we're going to start today, is at the tomb. So some time has passed. I've said maybe like 4 hours has passed, and you guys have explored the tomb. You haven't really uncovered anything else. There's more statues of the kind that you saw before, which might have been elven, but they were worn down. And then there was the possessions of the winter druid that you guys managed to kill that we talked about last time. But as you've been here, it's really settled into night. Above you, it's the half moon, trickling over to the full moon. So you guys probably have another week or two, and then it'll be a full moon. But the sky is bright with stars and the moon, and it's gotten into the afternoon. You were supposed to take a trophy from the moose back to Lonelywood, but that's where we'll kick it off.
Yes, I think Rorgar in those hours would have taken the antlers off the moose.
That sounds good. At this point, you would have all healed up. You've all leveled up to level 3 also, so you are all set.
So I still have her head that I pulled off.
Okay.
What race was she?
She was half elf.
Half elf. I'm gonna pet the ears.
Oh no. And Varian, the object that you discovered, you still have it wrapped up, unless you would have looked at it in the meantime.
Yeah, I feel like in that 4 hours I probably would have kind of given it a couple of once-overs just to see if there's anything else I could learn about it.
You don't know anything more apart from that it's a moonblade, and of course the runes or the what's inscribed, the Elvish script on it says the name of it is the name of the sword. It's called Era, ERA, and that's about it. It's got a lot of markers of Selûne, the moon goddess, on the hilt, and you know a little bit about moon blades. I think wood elves don't traditionally have them. They are heirlooms of elvish houses that are passed down through generations and generations. They are very, very valuable, especially to those elvish houses that they belong to. It would be very unusual for a sword to be buried in a tomb, a moonblade to be buried in a tomb, and even stranger for it to be buried without a body. That's a bit unusual, and that's what you know.
All right.
And you said we searched through the rooms?
Yeah, you guys would have made a full circuit here. Not much remarkable. The tomb or the room where the sword was found, there's no markings or anything inside of it. It looked like it might have been a tomb, but there was no bodies or anything like that, or anything other than just the sword in that one sarcophagus that you found.
Any writings? Elvish writing?
The Elvish writings, you found a few places that looked like there might have been some Elvish writing at some point, but it's worn down in the same way the statues are, perhaps wind and stuff over time. All you've been able to take away is that this is probably a very old, probably ancient tomb.
Even the tombs inside?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, the tombs inside, like the one where the sword was found, there was no writing inside of the chamber of any kind.
Okay. What did we get from looting around? Like, sword? Was there any books?
Yeah, I have the Druid's Journal along with 2 potions. One is doesn't want to load for me. I'm gonna have to refresh. A potion of radiant resistance and a potion of vitality. So those will come in handy later.
The lady should have taken radiant resistance because that's actually what killed her.
Yeah, Garen's just gonna patrol around for a little bit, and then if anyone's watching, he does like pull up the head every now and then, just looks at it, puts it away.
I would like to examine this moon dial since the moon is out now. I know it's pointing in the right direction, but I want to see if maybe there's any writing or anything that's out here that looks important.
I'd say what's different than the graphic too is now at this point the moon dial is pointed to the half moon, not to the quarter moon, which is what the graphic would kind of indicate.
Yeah. Interesting.
Uh, friends, should we make camp for the evening?
If it is needed.
We could probably make it back. It's like afternoon. The sun might be down, but we can probably make it back.
I would rather sleep indoors. I am, as you say, a light sleeper.
There is the room that the druid perished in. You could set up camp in there. Single entrance, easy to defend.
Ah, that is a little morbid. Place where I devastated the enemy, tore them asunder. Place where you decapitated said enemy.
Every field might contain graves. Depends how long ago it occurred. It is best to move on.
How long did it take us to get here?
I think it took close to 3 hours, and that was mostly you guys trying to track your way here. If you had gone straight, it probably would have taken you no more than maybe an hour and a half. You remember also you fought a bear too, so that took some time.
Okay. I feel confident that we can return. Plus, with our prize, as I hold up the antlers, I would love to have a chance to celebrate. This is really my first successful hunt for monster.
Celebration is definitely in order. We should get back quickly.
Plus, we now have information on that sea monster. We know that this druid was responsible for it. Whether or not that means we can handle the sea monster, we have a little bit more information.
That is true. I agree.
So, let's head back then.
All right, so as you guys make your way, you head back to the forest. It's kind of a straight shot west to head back to Lonelywood. It moves onward into the afternoon, and you're making your way through the forest. I'm assuming you guys are in this order. Is there another way that you'd structure yourself? It's kind of a clear night as far as it's been. I know, Varian, you've taken the lead usually in the past whenever you guys are going somewhere.
I think Rorgar would like to take the rear.
Garn will typically be up front. His logic is something comes straight on ahead, he can get hit first.
Yeah, and I think if we kind of know the direction we're heading, that's probably safe to do.
I imagine Garn's not even lifting up his feet, he's just doing the Canadian move of shuffling his feet through the snow to clear a path for you guys.
So
But-
polite.
With your snowshoes, it's not too difficult, and also here in the forest, it seems as though the trees have caught most of the snow before it's fallen to the ground, so it's not quite as deep as it has been when you guys are outside of the forest. But as you're
Okay.
trekking along,
If
Varian,
it's light snow, it's kind of fun to just push through.
yeah,
The Canadian shuffle truffle.
Varian, that sword that you have wrapped up starts to hum lightly.
Can anyone else hear this hum right now?
Can we?
Yeah, you guys can hear it.
Oh, that is strange. Is that same sound from back at the moon dial?
I think so. It was a high pitched sound before, but now it just seems to be humming.
Strange. Is it coming from some item you took?
I think it might be. And Virion will unwrap the sword and, against his better judgment, will pick it up with his hand.
When you pick it up, nothing terrible happens to you, but you notice that the humming is getting a little bit louder.
Friend, that is a beautiful weapon.
Thanks. I looted it off an empty gravesite.
Oh, I did not need to know that information.
Nah, it's cool. I willingly shared it. That's fine.
So, Rorgar, tell me, does a 16 hit your AC?
No.
And as you're speaking with Virion, you notice in the snow right next to you, it looks like an arrow just impacts next to you, but it's slightly translucent and it's kind of steaming off this purplish flame. And slowly, as you look at it, the arrow kind of fades into nothing. And with that, if everyone can roll initiative for me, please.
I like to think that Rorgar just looked down at it almost amusingly, like, huh, interesting.
You have 2 Lajas. Laja has multiplied.
Oh. What did you do to multiply me?
You can't take it back now. We have 2.
I'll play 2.
I have 2
Does
of
that mean I
everybody.
get double spell slots?
Oh, I didn't clear combat last time. That's my fault.
Turns out they were twins and they were doing the twin magic and switching out between each other the whole
Yeah.
time.
I'll just add everybody manually. That'll work.
It's a classic parent trap scenario.
You know what? I dig it. I need to do that on purpose next time.
I'm a twin and I've never taken advantage of that.
Oh, that's right. Holy crap.
I think me and my brother just got so annoyed with people suggesting we do that we just refused to entertain the idea.
That's very fair.
I have spells.
What?
I can do speak with animals and beast sense as a ritual.
Oh,
Do I look at the right character? Yeah, okay, cool.
just discovering new things about yourself at level 3.
I thought level 3 was when I get the advantage on initiative, but I think that's next level. Or level 5.
That would be very useful right now. Well, it looks like. Oh no! Wait, the numbers. Just
Yeah, I'm still
reset.
messing around. The Banshee is actually 21. I think Varian is 5.
Yeah.
There we go. That looks right. So as you all turn around, behind you hear a slight wail. It sounds like someone in pain. And as you look, it looks like a ghostral figure of an elfish lady. She's covered in like some sort of chainmail. Her hair isn't falling down. It's like flying in the air behind her. And there's this, much like the arrow, like a cloud of purple smoke coming off of her. And she has a bow in her hand, which she lifts, raises, and takes a shot at you, Laja, with. And let's see if she hits. How's a 9?
Nope. I will parry that with my shield.
It's another one of those shadowy looking arrows, and you knock it away with your shield, Laja. And we go on to you.
Great. I will cast Bless on all of the other party members. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back by these trees, actually, to hopefully have a little bit more cover from any next shots. And then that'll be the extent of my turn.
Okay, I think that takes us on to Wargar.
I'm a bit afraid of. Okay, I shouldn't use info that I might know, that the character might not. I will. Rorgar will just charge forward. Is this branch that the Banshee's behind like difficult terrain?
No, you can easily step over it.
So I will go to right here, and as a bonus action, I'll cast Thunderous Smite, and I will attack with my axe. So let me just click on this one.
We got blessed, right?
Yep.
A 13 does hit.
Oh wow. The bless came through. So I do the normal damage, which I'm not sure I'm actually going to get to do because reasons. And then with Thunderous Smite, I do an additional 2d6 thunder damage, and the creature needs to make a strength saving throw. So 2d6. So 4 thunder damage. And then a strength saving throw against my DC of 13.
Good news. The Banshee has a terrible strength score. Pushed away 10, which would take her off the map. So I'm just going to put her right here, if that's okay.
That's exactly where I would have asked you to do it.
Okay.
And knocked prone.
Okay, so what happens is you deliver what would have been a fearsome blow to really any other creature,
Yep.
as you strike her, and then this spell lets out this thunderous blast. But your weapon passes through her, and it looks like you may have actually hurt her a little, but not nearly enough that you were expecting, based on the power behind this blow. You do push her back, and you're normally expecting the spell to knock her down. However, she's kind of ghostly, and she doesn't fall down at all. She's still floating in midair.
So I think Rorgar now knows what I know as a player.
I think so. Virion,
Okay.
the humming of the sword now has gone up a level, and it's almost a low roar at this point.
I think this sword's trying to tell us that we're in danger here.
But I think that moves us on to Guardian.
Okay. Guardian isn't going to do anything.
Oh. Interesting.
You're just gonna hang out there?
Yeah.
I guess I skipped you, Virion. We're on Virion's turn.
All right. So I guess that tree would kind of make things a little bit difficult. So Virion is going to move to here and draw back his bow and take a shot.
That'll hit.
And as Virion draws back his bow, a flurry of penguins come out of the ground, swarming
Yes.
out of the snow. And hang on, I gotta pull it up. Where is it? Did that come through? No?
No, didn't see anything. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
So when I attack, my penguins will also attack on a hit and do an extra d6 of damage.
That is wonderful.
So 9
That's the
plus-
bow.
That's the bow, yeah. And
Penguins.
I love that it's even named Penguin Swarm.
I had to look up how to do it. I'm glad I did.
That actually, reading that seems once per turn, it sounds like it could be really useful.
Oh yeah, and it gets better at higher levels too.
So the Banshee has failed their saving throw, and it sounds like you can move them up to 15 feet in a direction of your choice.
All right, so my penguins will come in and nuzzle the Banshee for their damage, and also kind of scoop them up And I guess Rorgar, where would you
No.
like to see them moved?
No, I think reading that you do one of those things. So you do the damage, or you can move it, or you can move yourself.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm
because it's
assuming-
once a turn, you still get to do all of them a lot.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Oh, yes. So I can have them move me, I can have them move the target, or I can do the extra damage. I see. Okay.
I see. Okay. I'm assuming you're going for damage.
Yeah.
So your shot, as it hits the banshee, it kind of goes through her, and then kind of keeps going into the forest, and it barely seems to phase her at all. And your penguins, as they swarm her, as they attack her ferociously, with their wings and their little beaks, they don't seem to really get much hold on her at all, and she just shakes them off.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. And she turns to you, Wargar, on her turn. You're done, aren't you, Virian?
Yeah, that would be it.
She turns to you, Wargar, and her eyes glow a unholy red, and she screeches at you. Give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Don't forget your D4 on that.
That's
And-
before the D4.
Yeah, and you're fine. You're not. You could see where this would scare a lesser person, but it has not instilled any fear in you at all.
Oh, I see. You got to check it for saves as well. Okay. Friends, I think we are in trouble.
She
makes
locks
loud noise.
and she looks at you, Virian, and she floats. She's flying. She's not walking on the ground. She floats over towards you. That's the end of her turn. Back to you, Laja.
I can see her, right?
Oh yeah.
I am going to cast Sacred Flame. So she'll make a dex save, and let's hope we get that 2 damage.
And she fails.
2 damage.
Sacred Flame is it's radiant. That's right.
Yeah.
She lets out a call, but with 2 damage, it's not doing too much to her. But unlike all of the other attacks so far, this one actually seems to, hurt her a little bit. A little bit if her clothes catch on fire. Her translucent clothes, that is.
Beautiful. I will stay where I am because I feel a little bit safer over here.
And taking us back to Wargar.
I think despite his literal fear here, Rorgar will he'll silently take a second to say a prayer, and then charge and once again attempt to hit the Banshee from behind with his axe. Oh, do I have advantage because I'm flanking?
Yeah, you do.
Sorry, I'll just roll that one again. Wow.
That unfortunately does not hit her.
So it just goes through the shape of the Banshee and Rorgar. It seems this creature is immune to my blade.
I think next up is Guardian.
He's not even reached for his weapon. He's just gonna walk up to her. He's just gonna tilt his head looking at her. And for anyone, this is gonna be fun to pronounce, so sorry if I butcher this. But he's just gonna say, "Esta amin silir, lil dagara hastiel, yanwa el nusiel I entolima." Which, for anyone who speaks Elven, is "Rest, my sister. Your battle has ended. Join your kin in the next journey."
Yeah, I knew that.
That's all he's gonna say and do.
They taught us that in our casual Elvish speaking class.
That's day one.
This is
The
high
banshee,
school
upon
English
hearing
is
this,
taught.
guardian, she turns towards you. She still has her hand on her bow, but she seems a little stunned.
Yeah, that's all Garden's gonna do is just stand there.
But Virion, upon the banshee getting closer to you, you notice that the sword, it looks like it's glowing a light blue flame around the blade.
Okay. As Virion notices that, he's gonna pull out the sword and take a look at it, not really knowing why this is happening or what's happening. I guess he's assuming that it's got some kind of magic properties within it, and is just gonna try and stick it in the banshee's back to see what happens.
And
I don't.
statistically, it's a longsword.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I don't know if this is fully correct.
That's plenty enough to hit her. You can roll damage for me.
All right.
Just 1d8. Yep. All right. So what happens is, as you hit her, the blade, unlike you've seen everyone else's blade seem to pass through her as they strike her, this seems to hit her full force. She lets out not a scream of terror, almost like a scream of surprise, and she vanishes. And that's the end of combat.
Whoa.
I think we all need to get one of these.
It seems you found a magical blade.
Does anyone know anything about magic blades? They want to give this baby a once over?
So this is what you guys have what you've uncovered about this sword so far. It is a moonblade, of course, the name of the sword, and it functions currently as a +1 magical longsword.
Can I make would it be history check to see if I understand what a moonblade truly is?
Sure. Yeah, just give me a history roll, please.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think you would certainly know everything that's on that sheet. And I think you would also know what I was telling Virion before, that finding one in a tomb alone without anyone else, just someone tossing it in a tomb, would be very, very unusual.
I'll look at it. I won't touch it, and I will look at Virion and say, "Friend, I believe this blade was speaking to you. I believe it belongs in your hands."
I mean, I'm honored just to be nominated for the opportunity, but this isn't my people's sword. Is it okay if I just use the sword of someone else's family? Nothing weird's gonna happen to me?
The only reason this sword was left behind is because that family line ended. You are beginning a new line with this sword.
All right, I hope I can provide an adequate home for it with my family now. And Virion will carefully wrap it back up in his clothes.
Guardian, what did you say to this vile creature?
Garden's just gonna slowly look up towards the sky, and slowly look down and look at you, Rogar. He's like, I don't know. It felt right.
Well, that is strange, but if it felt right, I guess it was the right thing to say.
Varian.
Yeah.
A sword given to a man can make him into a soldier, but a weapon given to a man bestows upon him the potential to be greater than just a soldier. That sword has chosen you. Treat the weapon with respect.
Absolutely, I will.
I feel sad.
I send my penguins over to Nuzzle Guardian.
He will pick one up and pet it. Penguins of comfort, go.
Oh, this means that Guardian always has a friend to pet now.
They're like spiritual kind of. They're like spirits, but I feel like for flavor, they're real.
These are my support penguins.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're allowed to take these on Delta Air flights and everything, I believe.
Wait. Sad again. There you go. Okay.
Do penguins have ears? They must have ears, right?
I would think so. Like little holes or something in the side of their head. I don't know.
Okay, I have looked up the answer for you because this is important stuff for us to interrupt the game with. Like other birds, penguin ears lack external ear flaps. The ears reside on either side of the head as holes covered by feathers. So yes, they can hear you.
Hmm.
It's important to know how these spiritual penguins work.
Absolutely. But varying with the Banshee gone, the sword has just gone back to normal. The buzzing has stopped.
Okay.
It looks like that took care of that sound.
Yeah,
So
I think it just might have some kind of spell on it, or that just lets us know whenever there might be some danger or evil nearby. I wonder if there's a place we can visit in the town to get it get looked at.
I know. After hearing that thing screech, I would like to get to the Lucky Liar and imbibe alcohol, quite a lot. That sound is still in my ears.
Then it sounds like we're moving forward.
Okay. The rest of your journey is uneventful, and you guys make your way into Lonelywood. It looks like around 7 o'clock in the evening, and it looks like. Let me put you guys in here. As you walk into town, you're walking out actually through the forest, so you're coming in here on the eastern side of town. But you can see off in the distance, people are walking into their houses. Lots of people are heading to the Lucky Liar, which is the northern part of town. But it looks like all the fishing is done for the day. And you notice that people don't seem to hang out in the streets very much. They all go inside.
Should we check the tavern to see if Speaker is there, or go straight to their house?
I think we might pass her house on the way there. So um we should at least give the proof we have of dispatching the moose, and from there we can head over to the tavern.
Sounds good to me.
What was the individual's name that kidnapped the owl?
Tali.
Tolly.
Tali. So easily forgotten.
Oh, did we tell Ollie to come back here?
Yes.
You guys did point to Lonelywood, yeah, and she flew off.
Okay.
So hopefully she's around somewhere.
I'm just gonna say very loudly, Ollie.
And a moment passes, and you hear off to your left, Guardian. What? And looking one of the trees is Ollie. She's near the top, and looks like she is pulling her head back from under her wing like she was asleep.
I hold up my arm.
And she looks at you and she says, you got a lot of blood on that arm.
Yes.
And she says, well, I guess I don't have anything better to do. And she flies and lands on your shoulder, not your arm, exerting her independence.
He just looks forward, and if he could smile, he would. No one's bothered you?
No, there was some commotion a little bit further north, but I decided to find one of these trees here in town. It's a little warmer.
Commotion further north. What did you see or hear?
Some shouting. I don't know. After what happened to that tomb, I decided I could use a rest. So I flew here.
I am glad you're safe.
And she just
He's
kind
just
of
gonna
looks
look
at
at
you.
everyone and was like, oh, sorry.
She stretches her wings a bit and then buries her head again under her wing.
Adorable. He's just gonna look at everyone and was like, why are we standing still? Keep moving.
You guys are headed to the speaker's house, right?
Yeah.
Let me move you there. As you guys enter the speaker's house, Ollie actually takes off your shoulder guardian and lands in a corner of the room near the wood stove that the speaker has. But as you all enter, she looks up and she says, oh, friends, so good to see you. Are you back from the forest already?
Hello, speaker. We have accomplished our mission. And I'll pull out the antlers, the really huge antlers from the magical moose.
Guardian pulls out the head of the druid, holds it over Rogar's head for it to drip a little bit.
Oh, and yes, we have this as well.
And she looks
Please.
at the
Try
two.
not to make a mess in here.
She takes a step back and she says, my goodness, I was told that it was a giant moose, but that must have been really a giant moose. And I don't know that the moose's friend that I am acquainted with them. She probably looked very angry. Now she looks very dead.
Yes, it seems that this, and pointing to the druid's head, this individual was responsible for the attacks by the moose and possibly the activity in the lake.
Wow. I think you probably did the Tin Towns quite a favor there. And she looks around. Well, for my part, and she pulls up a big bag. And let's see who's closer. She tosses it to you, Varian, and you catch it. And it's got some weight to it. She says, I pulled this from the town treasury, 100 gold pieces, just as promised.
I have a question.
And she looks slowly and up at you, Guardian, because, you're a lot taller than her. And she says, oh, of course, friend. What can I do to help?
May I keep this head?
Ugh.
She says, I was going to ask you to take it. And she looks around. I unfortunately don't have a good place to put a head in my house.
Excellent. I can use it for bait.
And she kind of looks at you sideways, Guardian, and looks around at everyone else. Well, I imagine you must all be hungry after a fight like this. Would you like to tell me about it? I'd love to hear the details.
What is there to tell? Rorgar, the servant of Torm and Bahamut, bravely slew this druid with one quick chop of the axe. It was easy. And you could probably see that despite like magical healing and stuff, Rorgar is covered in bruises from his near-death experience. One eye is slightly swollen shut.
It just occurred to me the Banshee didn't actually hurt anybody.
No.
No, we were just hurt from the previous encounter.
And she says, well, we're still building up our stores for the next sacrifice, but we have about 2 weeks left. I think we can dig into our supplies and get some food here for a feast. We have much to celebrate. Why don't we all head to the Lucky Liar, my treat?
That
Oh.
would be
That'd be
appreciated.
lovely.
Unless
Was there
guarding.
some commotion earlier?
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
A little bird told me that there was some shouting north of here.
She kind of cocks her head. Huh. Well, I don't know anything about that. I know the marshal was securing one of our food shipments further north, but that's not unusual. Some of our guards can get a little rowdy. Maybe that's what they heard.
Very well. And he'll walk to the door first.
Oh, and as we returned from our very successful mission as adventurers, we did encounter some sort of spectral being in forest. It screamed, and it was not enjoyable.
She looks very grim. I've heard tales of ghosts in the forest. Danby, the bard who sings in the Lucky Liar, often has many songs about fallen elven kingdoms and the like. You might have seen something like that. I hope it didn't cause you too much trouble.
Slight tinnitus, I think, is all that has occurred.
We were able to dispatch it pretty quickly with this, and I will get my penguins to fetch my new sword and show it to Nimsy. This apparently has some type of magical properties. Is there anywhere in town we can have someone take a look at this to maybe decipher what this sword is maybe capable of?
She looks at the penguins and then she looks at the sword and she says, "My goodness me!" And she adjusts the glasses up her nose a little bit and kind of leans in. And she says, "I'm not too good at Elvish, but that I believe that's something written in Elvish. Well, unfortunately, I think Danby the Bard is probably your best here in town to give you some information. If you're looking for an actual wizard, though, you'd have to go to one of the other 10 towns. I think probably Bryn Shandor or maybe East Haven. Of course, they probably have some wizards."
All right. We'll make sure to stop and talk to a wizard in one of those towns then. Thank you.
That's quite a fancy blade you have, too. If you're looking to sell it, also, I think Bryn Shandor might be your best bet.
I'll listen to any reasonable offer as much as I like it, but I think it's going to stick around with me for a while.
Did Guardian share the money he was given?
Oh, I think Virian has the big sack.
Oh, it was Virian. Okay. Do you share the money before I put it on my sheet?
I will share the money.
Okay.
So everyone add 25?
Yeah, 25 gold.
Let's make our way to the tavern.
You see guards actually a good distance down already.
Oh, you've already left?
Yeah. He thought everyone was following after he walked in the door, so he's like, doop, 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 doop.
Yeah.
Let's follow our friend.
I'll reshuffle those a little bit, so imagine Guardian's around the corner, and everybody else is trying to keep up. Guardian, as you've made your way around the corner, the Lucky Liar, of course, is just directly down the street. It's near the water at the north end of town. You've noticed a lot of the other guards, which calling them guards is giving them a lot of credit. It's just really guys wearing furs, because everyone's wearing furs here, and they carry some wooden spears, probably made from wood from the forest here in Lonely Wood, and some at the top is a very crude spearhead. And they don't even carry shields, but you can tell they're probably the city guard. But a lot of them are running around grabbing torches, and many of them are running north. And as all of you begin to kind of converge on Guardian's position, you see the marshal, and he's heading down the coast, the main road on the side of town, very hurriedly, like he's headed towards the speaker's house.
Marshall,
And he looks at all of you and he says, "What? I'll get to you in a moment. Stay here. Stay here. We'll need every able-bodied person with a sword in just a moment." And it's at this point you notice that his armor, which was really just a shirt, has been torn, and he actually has a few scratches on his face, and his sword is actually stained with blood.
when he says everyone with a sword needs to stay, Guardian just starts leaving.
Around that same time, Nimsy managed to catch up to him, and they exchange a few words. Nimsy says, "Marshal, what's going on?" And the marshal says, "We were ambushed by raiders again. The food transport, it happens often. There were only 4 of them, but we couldn't stop them. He seems actually very upset by this." And Nimsy says, what happened?" And the marshal continues, we lost 15 of our men. I pulled us back. Luckily, the raiders took the food and that was enough, but I'm worried they may come back. That was a good quarter of our food stores. So I'm getting all the guards I can to shore up the defenses north of town in case they return."
I hope you do not mind my interjecting here, Marshal, but who are these raiders?
Haggard says, they are all over the Dale, just barbarians or random members of any of the tribes here. Sometimes they test their luck. We've encountered them before, and they're usually no trouble at all. But this time, it must be some kind of foul wizardry behind them, because every time we would attack them, I hit at least 2 of them with a mortal blow. They should not have survived, and they wouldn't die. They wouldn't die. They would fall over, but they'd stand up, usually with a laugh, and we couldn't stop them.
It sounds like some sort of evil magic is at foot. And I would like to say, you have my blade in getting revenge on these evil doers.
Nimsy says, wait. You said they took the food? That's a quarter of our food stores that we need for the sacrifice. If we don't get that food back, we won't meet our quota. And Haggard says, there's no way that I can spare men to go after them. What if they return? Nimsy says, how many attacked your men? And he says, there were only 4 of them. And she says, wait, 4 of them killed 15 of our guards? And she looks around at you 4 and she says, listen, you've already done enough for this town. If I can't dig into the treasury anymore, but if you can help us deal with this problem, I'll give you the deed to the old inn at the south end of town.
I was willing to do this with no reward, but I can't say that for my friends. They do deserve something for their efforts. I act because I am a servant of Torm and Bahamut, and I must do this.
I
Guardian's
can't
gonna
speak for
get-
the others, but I'm happy to help however I can.
Yep, point us in the direction and we'll help how we can.
And Haggard says, their trail is very obvious in the north of town. They carried away our wagon. They made no attempt to hide there or conceal their movements. They should be easy to follow. And Nimsy cuts in and she says, I certainly want revenge, but the most important thing is to get our food back, please. If we can't meet our quota for the sacrifice, and you can see on her face a true look of fear. She's actually very, very scared about that.
Before we even move forward, I think Rorgar will go to the speaker, Nimsy, and take 5 of the gold that he had just been given, push it into her hands, and say, in case our efforts fail, I hope this will at least help you survive this coming sacrifice.
And she says, "Thank you, my friend. You are always welcome here in Lonelywood."
Who sorry, just to add a character. Who does Laja pray to?
Lathander.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make
Mhm.
note. Okay. Well, friends, should we pursue this enemy?
I think we should head out now.
It will make the drinks that much more tasty when we return, carrying the bodies of these raiders.
Yeah,
We
imagine
were
if you're.
told what direction they were in,
I
Jam.
the marshal said just north of town. As you guys head off, he actually leads you because that's where he's going to shore up the town's defenses. And you guys notice that they have most of the guard assembled. There's like 40 actually guard members, and they're as weakly equipped as you saw before Guardian, mostly just spears with really nothing else. But they're creating a wooden barricade as you guys are approaching, cutting down trees and sharpening the edges, to try to make it a little more difficult for people to pass. And some are actually getting bows and stuff together. But you can see just off to the corner, a little further south, like closer to the town, a stack of bodies that were other guardsmen that had been killed. And the marshal's right. It's probably about 15 people. And when you think about that compared to the number of forces they were fighting 4. And as you walk by Elijah, you look at them, you can instantly tell that all 15 are dead. Like they're not injured or anything. They have been severely stabbed and hacked to pieces, really.
Are there any members of their party that have been wounded pretty badly?
Yeah, there were a few, like the marshal's been wounded, and there were a few others that have managed to bandage up them, mostly like wounds to their arms and stuff. It's mostly light wounds.
Can I'm gonna sacrifice a few points of my lay on hands.
Okay.
5 points, and just pass that around the most injured to help keep them from any serious injury.
And as you're doing that, most of them turn to you and look at you with a newfound respect, Wargar, and they thank you, and several of them are saying, thank you, friend.
Friend, it is not it. Do not thank me. Thank Torm and Bahamut. They have given me the ability to help you.
Marshal says, yes, indeed. Thank you, Bagamud. That's his name.
Bahamut.
Bahamut.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And then he points, and you can see very, very clearly in the snow, there are, it looks like probably marks from a large sled that has been pulled further north, and they didn't really even try to conceal their numbers. It's probably 4 or 5 also pulling the sled.
Well, looks like the trolley went this way. Is everyone ready to follow and see where it leads?
Yes.
Yes, I am ready to kick butt and chew bubble gum, and I have seemed to have forgotten my bubble gum.
Sorry, I'm just off mic laughing here.
Well, let's go follow the tracks.
But as you make your way further north, Varian, there's really no even need to do a roll here. It's very simple for you, especially with your tracking ability, to follow the tracks here. They are making no effort to disguise where they are headed, and you can follow the wide cut through the snow of this sled that they're obviously pulling. What gets a little confusing at times is to determine the number that you're dealing with. You were told 4, but sometimes you see tracks that are close together, like maybe there's 2 or 3, but you don't really have a good sense of the number of people that are involved here. But you notice as you're continuing to lead north further and further, you're getting into hillier, slightly rocky terrain.
Right. Not sure how many people were following here, but be on the lookout that they might be hiding somewhere in this kind of rough terrain here.
Make sure to guard all the extra rations you have, and I'm just going to say that loudly.
Thank you for reminding me, because speaking of rations, at this point, you guys all have to eat a ration, except for you, of course, Guardian, or go hungry, because you'd have passed the point where you guys didn't get a chance to eat in town, so you're certainly hungry at this point. The way hunger works is you can go a number of days based off of your constitution modifier without eating before you suffer 1 point of exhaustion.
I love being a Warforged.
And nothing to worry about really at this point, but if you ever run out of food, you'll start feeling it.
Yeah, I think as Guardian says that Rorgar is like half. He's got his face just all the way into a ration pack, just chewing down. Oh, that is a good reminder. I'm trying to get it out of my deck here, and I don't know how to do it. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how to get rid of the... Oh, there we go.
I think you have to drag it onto
there we go.
The thing.
Onto the map.
There you go.
Ah, that one was taco flavor.
Mm.
Delicious. It almost felt like real meat.
But the tracks quickly lead, as I said, they're leading into a little more rocky terrain, and you guys come up to, it looks like a small cliff, and it looks very rocky and hilly, and I'm actually going to transition to this map. That's where you guys are. So I apologize. For some reason, when they made this map, they made each square 10 feet, which means it has to be broken up even further. So you're all very, very tiny.
I think Rorgar will still be at the back of the line as like the protecting against ambushes.
Let me describe the path that you guys you're going up. It's a winding path in the snow that's leading up this cliff, and on each side of the path is a 10-foot drop. So it's not too far, but you don't want to really fall down. And as you continue to make your way up, I'd say like around where Guardian is, it actually gets higher and higher, so it's about 20 feet. But the tracks in the snow definitely wind up and lead further in up the cliff.
We might be stumbling upon a hideout or a stronghold of some sort, so be very cautious.
Rorgar will just follow. He's just clutching his battle axe in one hand and shield in the other, ready for action.
Okay, I'm going to drag you guys a little further so that you can finally see some more interesting things here. So what you guys see is built around the mouth of a cave in front of you inside the cliff. It's a wooden portico, and it's shaped like a bear's head, and its mouth is open, and the tunnel beyond it is dark.
Varian would like to try something really quickly. This is a new thing with 3rd level. Oh. Primeval Awareness. Like if he can detect any kind of aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead. And I guess since this is his favored type of terrain, it would be within 6 miles of this position.
As you're walking forward, Varian, your senses, you catch a sound, and you smell. It smells like dragon.
Everybody,
That could just be me.
would I be able to perceive if this was just Rorgar behind me or if it's
It's not
a
Rorgar.
new smell?
It's
Okay.
not Rorgar. Yeah.
No, Rorgar, I'm very familiar with your scent at this point. This is something new up ahead.
Yes, I make sure to always smell of Old Spice. You know, like turmeric, cinnamon, Old Spices.
I'm getting a bit of coriander off you, but yeah.
That's in there too.
So everyone just be wary. It smells a little dragony up ahead.
Do we want to try to sneak in, or would we rather have a bit of extra light?
Sneaking would be bad for Rorgar, because he'd have
But what does
disadvantage.
Rorgar feel?
Rorgar himself probably thinks he could sneak in.
In which case, let's try to be sneaky. Let's see how funny this ends up being. I won't create some extra light for us.
I think. Oh boy,
Don't
So-
worry, I'm also loud.
how dark is it in this tunnel?
It's very dark.
Okay,
It's already dark outside. Actually, yeah, you guys are even past the point of dim light. So I think the only light you have is the light that you're casting. Now, of course, I believe Laja and Varian can see pretty clearly in the dark, or the dim conditions. Guardian and Rorgar, you guys can't see very well. And beyond this, like barehead wooden construction inside the cave, you really can't see much at all.
friends, I'm relying on you to be my eyes in this scenario.
But if you guys want to sneak, if you can all give me a stealth check. Oh, look at you guys.
Wait, why do I have advantage?
It's okay. I'm just going off the first score. Varian has the
Jeez.
lowest score. Isn't that funny? So you
Perfect.
guys
No,
actually,
Rorgar has the lowest
3.
because we're both at disadvantage.
Yeah.
oh, a disadvantage. That's right, because of your armor. Okay. So let me know
Just
where you
like-
guys going. Are you just going inside the cave?
Guardian is, yeah.
I'm gonna keep you guys in the order here and just like move you up like right here. So as you make your way into this large cave, it's about 20 feet tall, and you see lots of stalactites. There's the ones from the ceiling.
Yes.
Stalactites that are also dripping, frozen ice from the top. It's like water might have gotten warm and then it melted as it was starting to drip down. But what catches your attention immediately in the middle of the room, I'd say like right here, is a pile of broken eggshells, and they look rather large, and then also set into the walls like around here and here. It looks like some kind of kennel or at least rest area because there's a bunch of furs. And just outside the kennels is a pile of bones, and the snow is just blood red from something.
Is there still evidence of the food supplies being dragged through here?
Once you guys have walked into the cave, the clear line, the clear track of the thing that was being dragged, I think I called it a sled, just kind of disappears because there are a bunch of other tracks. There's a whole lot of activity, obviously, that's gone on in this cave.
Okay. I would like to use Divine Sense, so I can see any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet. Sense them at least.
There's something over here. Like immediately kind of catches your attention.
When
but
you say over here, I don't see the.
oh, we did see
I
it.
don't
I'd say to the west. To the west.
Okay. And I'll whisper because I still think I'm being sneaky. Friends, I believe what we're looking for is to the left.
So let's see, Rorgar and Laja. Let's see, a 13 and a 12. I think the only person here that is not surprised by this is going to be Guardian. So Guardian, you hear kind of a scratching sound, and you look up above you, and as you look up, you see a figure moving against the stalactites, and you kind of watch it, and then you notice it drop down from the ceiling and fly around. And then at the same moment, you hear behind you, coming from the entrance of a cave, something else flying, which means everyone is going to be surprised for this first round except for Guardian. But if you can all roll initiative for me, please. Man, I didn't clear it again. Dang it.
Oh, I'm at the lowest in initiative. Whew.
Oh, you're not the worst. It's a 2 there.
Deuces.
Give me a moment. All right. So as you've turned around, Guardian, you catch just in time, coming from the entrance of the cave. It's a small white dragon. As it swoops down on you guys, it opens its mouth and lets out a blast of cold air. So it's 15 feet from where it is. So let's see. I think that gets everyone except for Guardian. So what I need you guys to do is do a Constitution save for me, please. All right, so it looks like Virian, you've taken 22 cold damage. The rest of you have taken 11.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Oh, man.
oh, that's exact.
Yeah.
I'm also resistant to cold damage, so is it halved again to 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're resistant to cold damage, that would be half. So I believe that moves us right to, you know what, Guardian, I'm going to put you above the next dragon. Ties will always go to you guys. So Guardian, you see Virian go down as the three of them are engulfed into a cloud of cold. You see that dragon, it's swooping down, so it's almost at ground level, maybe just a few feet above it. The dragon that's behind you, this guy, it's flying in the air about 20 feet in the air.
All right.
And these are actually wormlings. They're about the size of horses. They're not full dragon size. That's any help.
No, that makes me feel worse.
We are on Guardian's turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the others will not get to go this turn because they're surprised, and you're actually tied with the dragon, but I'm going to give it to you first.
Oh, well then, I would like to rage. So something fun's going to happen when Guardian rages this time. Typically, his little blue glow shifts to a red color, but he also has these long spikes on his arms that have been kind of just on there for a while, and they start to glow. as he grabs his maul and he's charging towards the one that just breathed out. He's moving towards to go whack it. So rage hit.
Okay.
Let me select that. And it's going to be a reckless.
Okay.
So I always get advantage, and they get advantage and attack back on me.
24 will do it.
Wow.
13 damage.
13 damage.
I just rush up, swing that maul overhead, and just crack it on its head.
I'd say it was close to the ground, but as you hit it, it kind of lands harshly onto the ground, and it folds its wings, and it gives you a large roar as it turns its full attention towards you. You notice where you hit some of the young scales that were forming, because this is still a very young dragon, just have broken off and kind of clatter as they hit the snow.
This will be the first time that I think Guardian's really done this, but he will roar back.
So that will move us on to the next dragon. And he swoops down from the sky at you, Rorgar.
I might have missed this. What do we know what color they are?
Yeah, they're white. They're white dragons.
White. Okay.
Sorry if I missed that description.
No, I was away.
They're small white dragons. Small is dragon size. They're still large. They're about the size of a horse.
Okay.
And it becomes visible at this point, Rorgar, because you guys hadn't actually even noticed these dragons at all. And the three of you that were hit by the breath weapon didn't even see where it came from. But this one dragon has just landed right in front of you, Rorgar, and it looks right at you and takes a bite towards you. How's 13?
That's a miss.
And apparently he misses. Top of the round, that would be the dragon that you are fighting with, Guardian. He looks at you. You delivered this mighty blow to him, and he tries to... I'm sorry?
That dragon that attacked me gets advantage against me. Because I'm surprised, right? And I act after him, so I'm still surprised when it attacks.
That doesn't do him any favors, though.
Okay.
I rolled terribly low here.
Just wanted to make sure.
Thank you. But the dragon, as it's coiled up, strikes at you, Guardian. He gets advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
How's a 15?
That is my AC.
Okay. I can't remember. Does he need to get that number or higher?
No, he'll hit me.
Yeah, it has to meet.
Right. So that's 7 piercing damage and 2 cold damage.
Has that already been reduced?
No.
No? So 4 damage.
And I think that moves us on to Virian. Virian, we will need one of your death saves, please.
Okay. Oh, I guess it's just a D20, eh? Ooh.
That's a good, though. That's one success.
Still in the game.
But moving on to Laja. So Laja, in front of you, Virian is down. And then off to the side of you, the two guys are engaged with the two dragons on the ground.
Yep. Laja is going to lean over Virian, just gently grab his shoulder and cast Cure Wounds, saying, It's not your time yet. Wake up. And hopefully that will go. 15 points.
Ooh.
Cool.
That is big. Thank you.
And I'll stay where I am because the other two are engaged. So I'm not going to get up in that.
All right, that takes us to Guardian.
I'm going to whack him again. Reckless, small, rage.
25 will do it.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
a crit.
Oh, a crit. Nice. So that's your 14 from your crit, 16 damage.
Yep.
You have slain this dragon. As you bring your hammer down on the dragon's head, it lets out a screech, and its neck snaps to the side, and it goes over dead.
So yeah, Garn's gonna roar it again. It's sounding more and more bear-like. Do I get a move?
Sure.
Poof. He gets a roar too.
And this second dragon, as he sees you kill its brother, it looks at you, Guardian, and you, Wargar, lets out a screech and breathes a cone of cold at the two of you, which I think is just going to be out. You're just going to be out of range, Virian. But if you could all make a Constitution save for me, please.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a 9.
Both of you, it's 22 cold damage.
I have
11.
resistance.
Yeah.
Cold, so 11. 26.
I think that's 11 for both of you.
Yeah.
But moving on to you, Rorgar. You shake away the cold from this breath weapon. The small dragon stands in front of you.
I will resist the urge to breathe cold on it. But I think Rorgar, for a brief second, considers attempting to. How do I get rid of this thing? Sorry, there's a thing on my screen I want to get rid of. Whatever, who cares? I briefly considered our shared dragon lineage, but he almost killed one of my friends. So no mercy. Rorgar will move to here to flank it, and I will attack the the wormling.
Okay.
Do I have advantage because I'm flanking?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
16 will hit.
I will use a divine smite. No, I won't. I'm not going to. I want to. I'll just do 11.
Yeah. Your attack leaves a large slash on the side of the dragon.
And in Draconic, I will say, you chose the wrong party to fuck with, friend.
The dragon spins around and hisses at you like it probably understands, but it's not saying anything. But I think that moves on to you, Virian, as the light of Lathander brings you back up. A little sore around your elbows and knees, but you've pulled yourself back from death.
Okay, that cold sucked. Virian is going to bounce back up and without hesitation pull the moon blade out and charge the dragon and jump as high in the air as he can and just swing down on its neck.
Okay. Can I move you, because you're out of melee range at this point, can I move you like maybe over here?
Oh yeah, for sure. Sorry.
Okay. It's 18. Does that include the +1 already from the sword?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I looked up the longsword stats and just applied it and added the +1 and everything.
Cool. That's what you need. Yeah, that'll hit. Definitely.
Perfect. For 10 damage.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's another
plus.
vicious strike against the side of this dragon, and at this point it looks at you, Virian, it looks at you, Rorgar, and you, Guardian, and it just like it's at this point become like a feral creature, a feral beast. It doesn't know which side to attack or which side to go for.
Also, I forgot to add that as I swing down, my penguins also come and peck the underside of the dragon's chin for
Yes.
1d6 of damage. Another little 2.
I like this image. It just kind of popped in my head of penguins just attacking, like swarming this dragon, just covered in penguins.
For some reason, I'm picturing it as a Madagascar penguin, so like one of them's being called Kolowaski. Go.
Yes.
I love it.
But Elijah, as you look up, the dragon is roaring like very loudly, just covered in penguins.
That's fine. You all know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sacred flame the dragon.
Yes.
Let's see, for half damage, or is it just an entire miss if he succeeds?
An entire miss.
Yeah, I think you miss him there. As he's scrambling around trying to get the penguins off of him, your sacred flame just goes right past him.
That's fine. It is what it is.
But unless you want to move Laja, that's going to take us back to Guardian.
Nope, Guardian go.
Gonna twirl my maul around and do another reckless attack. A 20.
20 will hit.
15.
And
Cool.
the dragon, maybe he was looking at Virion or maybe he was looking at Rorgar, but your blow Guardian catches him again in the back and there's a crack and he falls over dead.
Another loud roar. I just imagine someone off in the distance like, I think our dragon's fighting a bear. I think the bear won.
That will take us out of
Yeah.
combat for now.
We're in some sort of cave, right?
Yeah, you guys are in a cave.
That
Yeah.
would just echo. Just, friend, you're as loud as Banshee.
Head slowly turn. Look down. Lean down. Yes.
And now that we're out of combat, I'll cast light so that we can see around in the cave a little bit better.
And Laja, as you bring lights up, you guys see that there's actually quite a bit of gore around this cave, and it looks like the corpses of something large has been consumed or at least torn apart here, and this blood and bones and debris also. And then also in this area, there are a bunch of shells from looks like eggs of some sort, and you guys hear like a cracking sound in the middle of all of that.
I was just gonna ask, are any of the eggs unbroken? So I guess I'll head over there and try to see this.
And as you approach Rorgar, you notice that one of the eggs, it's kind of covered in other eggshells. That like something cracks open. It's like one of the eggs was probably still complete. It cracks open, and immediately that pops out of it very quickly is a very small white dragon, and this dragon's about the size of a cat. And immediately when it comes out, it shakes and sprays like that egg goo all over you. But it stretches its wings and opens its eyes. It has pale blue eyes.
Um,
It just kind of sits down just like a dog or cat would and looks around at all of you.
I'll kneel in front of it and I'll slowly I'll put my hand towards it to try to brush off some of that fresh out of the egg goo.
It does the thing just like a cat would, and it rubs its head, against your hand. And it actually does also like a cat where it runs over to your leg and begins to rub against your leg, and it wraps its tail around your leg. And before you know it, it's actually jumped up on your shoulder, and it's stretching out its wings behind you, and it just kind of curls up on your shoulder, looking around.
I pull out a day's worth of ration and just hold it in the air.
Yes, friends, they said I did a similar thing when I came out of the egg.
Oh, it's another you. I'll put the ration back away.
No, this is this will actually be a dragon.
But it
Pull out the ration.
looks at your hand, Guardian, as you put the ration away, and it starts to sniff the air, and it jumps off of your shoulder, Rorgar, and glides over here to the corpse of one of the other white dragons. It lands on the ground and runs over to it and begins to tear off pieces of its corpse and begins to eat it.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me, small creature. I'll go over to one of them and just splay it open.
I do feel a tinge of sympathy for these fallen dragons. But it is always key to remember I am not a dragon.
Rorgar, if you can give
I
me an
am just
insight check,
born.
please.
I am just born of dragon. Insight? Okay.
With that, you remember that white dragons are the lowest intelligence of all dragons. And this hatchling is probably being driven mostly by instinct, like it needs to eat immediately from being born. And it's not uncommon for white dragons to also be cannibals and like not only kill each other but also eat each other. So this dragon it's a little ferocious in the way it's attacking its probably brothers, but that's not altogether uncommon.
It is just a young one being young. Friends, I did not eat my parents. I did not eat my siblings.
That we know of.
And we know for sure that this won't attack us, Rorgar, right?
No, we have no guarantee. Dragons are very dangerous, and dragons that are white, red, black, they tend to be more greedy and angry. I am silver, as you can see. And actually Rorgar is he is silver, but not, he's mostly gray. The silver is mostly at the edge of some of his scales and a little bit in his horns. And my knowledge of dragons is not perfect. Again, I am not actually dragon, I am dragon born. But it is young one. It would seem a bit cruel to end its life before it had chance to grow up. The other ones seemed to respond to my my query. Well, I didn't query. I told it to go and have sex with itself.
But after just a moment, the small dragon, it finishes whatever it's doing. It finishes eating. It kind of flies and hops back over, sort of like a little bunny almost, to the snow, and it jumps up onto your shoulder, Laja. It takes its wing and wraps its wing over its body. It actually takes its tail and wraps its tail around your arm to support its weight. It kind of gets a little closer, and at one point you feel like a little scratch is on your beard, maybe as it's using that to position. It's using its claws to position itself. But very quickly, it covers itself with both wings and begins to snore softly as it goes to sleep.
Aw.
Oh, well, I guess we can keep an eye on it for now.
Dawnbringer, it looks like it is attracted to you.
Okay.
Maybe you've made a friend.
I'll keep the dragon on my shoulder while we look around.
So as you guys look around, there is a passageway that extends north, and there's a passageway that extends south. It looks like Guardian has already headed south. So Guardian, I will tell you what you've encountered the ancient white dragon. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yes!
You've walked into a small chamber. It looks like it's gone down. The cave has gone from 20 feet, which is a large cave where everyone is, down to 8 feet. It looks very rough. It's like it was not finished. It's also very dark. You notice there's a hole in the southwest corner, and it looks sort of like a chute that descends down into darkness, and it smells like blood and filth. But you don't see anything else otherwise.
Make his way back. I found the bathroom. Are we able to use hit points to recover some health?
That's up to you guys if you'd like to take a rest of some kind.
I'd like to these look like some sort of holding cells or pens. Can I take a look at those?
Yeah, it looks like there are furs and Other bits of meat and bones in each of these. It looks like, if you had to guess, this is probably where there's 2 dragons you just killed. This is probably where they kind of layered. It's obvious that they're young dragons because a normal dragon will have a horde. These are obviously young dragons because they don't have that. If you look at where they were sleeping, it's just mostly furs. But you do pull up what looks like a spell scroll of some kind.
Ah,
Ooh.
is it in a language that Rorgar understands? Common or Draconic?
It's a magical scroll, so why don't you give me an Arcana check and I'll tell you what it is.
Can I instead just pass it to Laja?
Of
Yeah, I'll
course.
take a look at it.
I found this. I'm not sure what it says, but maybe you'll have some luck.
I'll examine the scroll.
You know, Laja, I think you would probably recognize it right away. It's a scroll of knock, which knock is the spell that opens locked things.
This will be very useful if we need to open something, although it'll also be loud. So I'll put that away. I'll hold on to that for now.
Laja, from where you're standing, you smell a faint smell of smoke from this direction.
Ooh. Okay. Everybody, I think something's burning back there.
Before we continue forward, I will Rorgar, sorry, not me, but Rorgar will go up to Laja and Virian and give them both pats on the shoulder and heal Laja for 5 points and Virian for 4. With lay on hands.
Sorry, for 4 you said?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. I'm topped off.
And sorry, Guardian.
Oh, that's okay. Was this our short rest though?
You
we
guys
taking
can
one?
take a short rest if you'd like.
Do we want to take an hour?
If we smell smoke, I don't think we should rest.
Fair.
As much as I like to get hit points back, I think it's more important to continue.
As you touch Laja's shoulder, Rorgar, the dragon on her other shoulder kind of looks up and he lets out a long, large yawn. And Laja, you're just overtaken with a smell of just, raw meat, as like you can tell his tiny little teeth are still stained with blood. I've been calling it a he, actually. It's a she. You can tell. She
interesting.
yawns. She still is young enough to where her scales are very soft. But after she yawns in your face, Laja, she then curls back up and goes back to sleep.
Ah, very cute.
We can keep her with us for now and figure out what to do later.
Yes, I don't believe dragons become truly dangerous until like the second week.
In which case, we have a full week to figure out what to do.
And this could again be wrong. I am no expert. This is just what my parents told me. And if
Crunch.
yeah, let's start moving forward.
Crunch.
And Guardian, from your position, you can see that the passageway branches off. It continues on further, and you see what looks like an opening continuing on, and then it also branches to the left and to the right. The smoke that you guys were smelling appears to be coming from the left.
Yeah, I'll stay about 10 feet back from Guardian.
And Guardian, you notice in the room that you are heading into, there are hundreds of icicles clinging to the ceiling. It's 12 feet high at this point. It's bathed in a flickering blue light, and the source of this light is a blue flame that's crackling in a stone brazier that stands against the far wall. It's almost like a stone bowl, probably about 2 feet wide, and there's a blue flame. You don't see a source, but there's a blue flame burning here, and white smoke is rising from it. And every once in a while, the smoke coalesces into the form of a skull, but the image quickly disperses, and sometimes it doesn't exactly form a skull, but you think that's kind of what it's turning into. But yeah, That's the only thing in here.
Now that I see this, can I use Divine Sense again?
You can, and this bowl is definitely a source of your divine senses are like tingling. Yes, like this thing is not good.
Can I tell is it celestial fiend or undead?
Undead.
Friend.
Put my hand in the fire
Oh,
just to see.
that is a bad idea. Don't do that.
Mm,
As you move your hand into the fire, Guardian, you take 10 cold damage.
ooh, ouch.
And this damage you take it feels almost as like it's drawing something out of you. It's a cold that's it's even colder than when you fell in the lake before. This is like a cold that goes through your armor, down like deep into your body as you lose these hit points.
The energy of the unholy seems to be coming from that cauldron.
Hmm.
Something undead, I think.
I bend down to pick up some snow and toss it into the fire.
When you toss the snow into the fire, it hisses and immediately burns away.
I'm going to grab the sides of the brazier. Does anyone say anything to me?
Furion will take a step back.
You do notice, Guardian, as you get closer, because I guess you're probably close at this point, you see there are all sorts of like runes and inscriptions along the outside, the perimeter of the bowl.
Ooh. Any language I recognize?
You don't notice it, no. You can't recognize what it is.
Alright. Just gonna lift the brazier up and tip it over.
And as you tip it over, it drops to the ground and the flame goes out. And immediately the bowl itself is very cold. You would imagine for a flame this size that there should be some kind of warmth, right? Or the snow should melt. Nope. There is no warmth at all from this flame. But just the simple act of moving it like you did, the flame's gone out.
Look back at everyone else. Okay. Just start to walk out. Excuse me. Hello, little dragon. Excuse
Yep,
me.
we'll start heading the other way.
But yeah, walking back to the crossroads lodge that you see ahead of you, it looks like a wooden plank that extends into a much larger room, and this wooden plank is going over a ravine of some kind. And then the opposite corridor from where you're standing, this kind of descends into darkness a little further.
It looks like we can cross over here if we want, or do we want to head over this way first? What do you think?
I'd like to head up north first before crossing a potential trap.
Okay. Lead the way.
And holding right there, Guardian. So the ice in this cave is stained pink and red with the blood of numerous kills. In the center of the room, beside a stone tray of butcher's tools, is the flayed husk of an owl bear skeleton. It's been skinned, gutted, and stripped all of meat. And along one wall, there are metal hooks that have pierced the ice, so they're actually stuck in the ice. There's a very large man in blood-drenched hide. He hangs carcasses from these hooks to bleed out. His face and limbs are blackened by frostbite, and he seems to be absent a nose. And as you enter, he casually turns towards all of you, picks up a weapon, and charges towards you. So if you can roll initiative for me, please.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Sorry, what happened with that cauldron?
I tipped it over. No one stopped me.
No, I wasn't going to stop you either. Did anything happen?
The flame just went out. He turned it upside down, dropped it, and the flame went out, and that was it.
Well, then it was the will of Torm. I don't feel bad about that. Sorry, I'm going to be on mute because my dog's going crazy because my brother's doing something outside, and there's just no way to stop the dog from barking.
I think we're actually going Guardian first.
Sweet. Yeah, not happy about seeing a dead owlbear because I go into a rage. And
The big squares are 10 feet, if that helps.
all right. Yeah, I can just get to there. Yeah, so I'm gonna go up there. Or wherever the point is I can get to without provoking. Yeah, I think there.
Yeah.
Reckless Rage. Maul. Hua.
17 will hit.
13 damage.
13. As you strike him with your maul, he kind of looks at you and laughs. And as he laughs, you see he only has a few teeth, and they're all sharpened to a point.
No.
I believe that moves us to Laja.
I am going to move up the distance I can move up. And let's see what I can do. I don't want to use my last spell slot, so I will just use a cantrip on him. And we'll see how that goes.
How's a 5? That fails, so he takes 4.
Yep.
So
And
if
I
you
think
cast
that'll
your
be the extent of what I can do.
you cast your spell, a piece of his clothing catches on fire. You notice he's really not wearing many furs, so he's either adapted or he's crazy. He hasn't figured out that he should be wearing furs, but a small part of his body catches on fire and immediately goes out.
Interesting.
On to his turn. He lets out a roar to match yours, Guardian, and he attacks with this flail that he'd pulled off the table. He swings it around and hits you. He actually attacks you 3 times.
Ooh.
And he's also attacking you recklessly. So that means, he also has advantage, and then you have advantage to hit him as well.
Nice.
22, 15, and 12. Oh, sorry. 22, 15, and 15.
Yeah, all 3 hit.
Okay, that each hit was 7 bludgeoning damage. Ooh. And I need you to make 3 constitution saves for me, please.
Oh.
Jesus.
Man, that rest sounds real good about now.
Hey, don't worry. I saved 1 point of lay on hands. You're fine.
I got a cure wounds in my back pocket too.
Sorry, it's not supposed to be advantage. Boop.
So you are poisoned.
No, I'm not. Warforged.
The last one was an 8. Oh, yeah, that's right. Warforged, you're immune. So you're good. Sorry, I should have let off with that and you didn't have to roll. You notice the weapon that he's...
something. Sorry, I have advantage on poison, so let me go... That's what saving throws against being poisoned, and you have a resistance to poison damage. So I actually get to...
It's not actually poison damage, it's the poison condition. So I think you're immune to the poison condition.
I see I'm immune to diseases.
Well,
you have advantage on saving throws against
in this case, the poison condition doesn't really do much for you because you're recklessly attacking. Poison would give you disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Okay. Which
isn't going to really change much for you at this point, but you're poisoned. That moves to you, Orgar.
I don't think I can get there in one move. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I got 6 HP.
And if you'll let me, can I throw a hand axe as I run towards this enemy?
Yeah, you could do that. The range on War Axe, do you have that?
Hand axe? Yeah, 20 feet is the minimum. So 5, 10. Yeah, it should be okay.
Okay, yeah.
Do I have advantage on this attack?
Actually, then I'm looking at it. 20 feet would. He's about 30 feet away.
Okay, so I would.
Oh wait, no, he's 20. He's 25 feet. Yeah, so it's almost
Yeah.
30.
So I would be. That'd be a long range.
Okay, it's disadvantage then. So if it's a long range.
But did he do some sort of a thing that gave me advantage? Maybe.
Oh, that's right, reckless. So we'll just cancel that out.
So just plain. Okay. Cool.
That will hit.
I just need to read something here. Okay. No, it's just normal damage. So 8 points of damage.
So your hand axe goes spiraling through the air and it strikes him in the shoulder and it just sticks there and he laughs. He doesn't even really seem too concerned about it.
It is good to see you having fun, friend.
But that takes us to you, Virion.
So Viren is going to pull up to this location and pull out his bow and try and thread the needle and hit the face of this little berserker fella.
That will hit.
Perfect. So he draws back and launches his bow, and as the arrow strikes him, the tiny penguin swarm is going to shoot out of the ground and attack by nibbling at his ankles. For another 4 damage.
The berserker seems a little upset by the penguins and he swats at them, but also ignores the arrow that strikes him maybe in the upper shoulder.
Yeah, it'd be a little unsettling.
He has a wild look to his eye, which are moving to your turn, Guardian. You can see there's no fear at all in this guy's face, even though he has a hand axe and an arrow sticking out of his chest. It doesn't really seem to bother him. He's swiping off the penguins though, and he's not paying attention to you.
Oh, well, that's bad. I'm gonna reckless maul.
17 hits.
Wow.
17 damage. It's another strike against him, leaving a vicious wound. I think that moves us to Laja. Laja, as you finished your spell before, the dragon on your shoulder kind of looks up at your face with sleepy eyes.
Surprisingly calm.
I'm gonna put the dragon down, maybe right there, and I'm gonna move forward without the dragon, and I'm going to attack because it
Just
seems
like a
like
cat, as you go to dislodge it from your shoulder, its claws stick, and you kind of have to like pick the claws out of your armor, but you do drop it on the snow, and it lands and watches you as you walk away.
That's okay. I'll be back for it.
Abandoned.
So I am going to come down with my warhammer, two-handed, and you said you did reckless, so
Yeah, you have advantage.
would get advantage.
21 will do
21?
it.
Nice.
So I will do that one attack, and hopefully the dragon's doing okay. It can handle itself for 5 minutes.
It's another
think.
strike against this berserker. Let's see how he responds. He gives you a wild look, Laja, and then back to you, Guardian. Then he looks at the dragon, and he seems to be very, very upset with you, Laja. Particularly, he looks back at the dragon, he looks back at you, and you think he might be connecting something. But he attacks you instead of Guardian. But he
Okay.
does reckless attack again, so he gets advantage.
Yep.
How's a 23 and a 19?
Those both hit.
I imagine a 9 misses.
Yep.
So those are each 7 bludgeoning damage, and you do need to do a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Okay.
And one more.
Oh, right. 2 hits, 2
Yeah, two saves.
con rolls. That's
Oh,
fine.
you're fine.
Yeah, even better.
But he looks back at the dragon and he says, meat. But back to you, Rogar.
Rogar will run past to here, and as he runs past, he'll look to the little baby dragon and say, in Draconic. It probably doesn't understand because too young, but maybe it gets the tone up. Stay still, little one. And then he'll bring his battle axe down on the back of this berserker.
A 14 will hit.
Oh, okay. I will burn a divine smite. So just mark off my spell slot. Go. All right. So the regular damage is 9, and then an extra 2d8. And hopefully can't shrug that off, the extra 5 damage.
It's a significant impact on the side of the berserker, but he still manages to stand up despite the hand axe stuck into him, various arrows. There's also the smell of the burnt flesh from Laj's previous attack. But he's still standing. He actually ignores you, and he's still fixated on the dragon. But that takes us to Virion.
Virian's gonna move up to this spot to get a little bit better angle on the berserker and just take another shot with his bow. Oh, and he crits.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
4 plus 8 damage, and my little penguin babies, another 2.
What about your crit? Isn't that double?
Yeah, I think.
That is 4 plus 8.
Okay.
No, I mean, wouldn't the penguin swarm also double?
Oh, I don't
That's iffy, but like,
I don't know if
seems like it would.
the penguins would be lumped into that.
But like my divine smite, which I choose to do after I hit, also doubles the dice.
Oh, yeah?
it would
I think
make
it's all
sense.
damage dice. Yeah.
Well then.
So it'd be another 2.
In any case, he is dead. And because I think it's hilarious, I think he dies underneath a swarm of ferocious feral penguins as they just cover him and he falls to the ground. He doesn't really even scream as the penguins tear him to pieces. But that is the end of combat.
It's like the anime scene. He's like slowly being pulled out of frame and blood's like spraying out.
Yeah.
He's like his picture's shaking as he fades out.
They
Remember me.
They learn to maul so fast.
I'm so proud of them. Well, while they are examining him, I'm gonna go grab the hatchling again. 'Cause I feel bad leaving it alone.
You don't even really have to go to grab the hatchling, Laja, because as you get closer, she does again what she did before. She jumps up. This time she maybe lands on your breastplate, digs her claws in, leaving some kind of nasty scratches, and pulls herself back up on your shoulder.
As it does that, and it jumps on Laja's shoulder, Rogar in Draconic will say, will point to Laja and say, friend, and then point to himself, friend, and point to Guardian and Viridian, and try to get that, although it's only like 15 minutes old, so none of that will probably stick.
And it just kind of looks at back and forth as you're pointing to everyone. It follows where you're pointing, and then just looks back and blinks its light blue eyes.
Eh, I am no parent.
Garen walks to his little alcove, rests his back against it, and uses his maul to keep himself upright. We're resting.
Did you guys want to take a short rest?
Do we still? I assume we don't smell that fire anymore.
No, that when Guardian flipped it, the fire went out, the smoke went away.
Yeah, I'm okay with taking a rest. I think Rorgar will take like the lead position to try to at least keep guard. Yeah, because I don't feel like I need to take a rest.
And Virion will trance over here. He doesn't fully sleep. He'll just be, or I
Well,
guess
it's
not
a
even really
short rest
resting. It's a
anyway.
short rest, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Laja, because you passed your poison both checks, weren't you? So you weren't poisoned. I think it was
Correct.
Guardian who was poisoned.
Ye-
So Guardian, if you're gonna rest, give me another Constitution check.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, you are still poisoned.
Yeah, I don't have enough points in lay on hands to save you from that right now.
Oh, and I
don't-
forgot I have advantage on saving throws against poison. I need to remember that next time.
Virion's actually going to walk over to Guardian and use. Will cure wounds help in this situation with the poisoning? Probably not, eh?
I don't think
No.
so.
I think it has to be lesser restoration, or my lay on hands. If I use 5 points of it, will do it. But I only have 1 left.
Yeah, I don't have lesser restoration prepped. Unfortunately.
Poison's not the worst thing in the world. It's like suffering from a point of exhaustion.
You just have
Right.
you just have disadvantage on most checks.
ye- Yeah, I'm gonna roll my hit dice.
It is weird to think of a Warforged with a queasy stomach. Do I, for the hour of the short rest, do I also get to
Yeah, if
use
you're
some hit dice? Okay.
if you're resting, I don't think on a short rest you're sleeping, so you can still keep watch and take the rest.
So I'll use 2. No, I'll use 1.
I used all 3 of mine.
Yeah, I think for you that makes sense.
But while you guys are taking this rest, the dragon, she jumps down off of Elijah's shoulder and she walks over and actually digs herself like a hole in the snow next to you, Rogar, and she curls up and goes to sleep.
I'll sit next to this little baby dragon, and maybe I'll pull out one of my rations and break off just the tiniest piece and set it in front, and then kind of just pet the dragon, trying to get the rest of that egg grossness off of it.
And as you do that, she still stays asleep, but she still like lets you pet her and everything. But some time passes, and I'd say maybe as you're petting her, Rogar, you guys all hear a noise coming down the tunnel this way.
I assume you mark to the left.
Oh yes, sorry, the bottom left of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think the darkness prevents me from seeing that. So I'll motion to my teammates here, and I'll begin sneaking forward.
Actually, to the bottom left, coming out of the shadows are 3 figures that doesn't really appear that they're trying to sneak or hide. Yeah, that way. Hang on. You'll see them in a sec. There they are. But there's 3 figures. There's 2 males and a female. And they're all pretty heavily armed. Much like the other guy that you killed, they they aren't wearing the kind of furs that you would expect in this weather. But as they walk in, the female says, "Oh, you found yourself to our lair, did you?"
Says the spider to the fly.
She says, "Leave the dragon and you can walk out of here alive."
No.
Can we negotiate on this? Because this dragon is not old enough to make decisions on its own.
Also, from where you guys are standing in the other direction, you see the pile of meat, which I think you can kind of all visibly see to the west. That's the big pile of meat, the stolen food shipment from Lonelywood. It's kind of piled up in this room.
Friends, can we make some sort of deal? I do have gold that I would be willing to share with you if you're willing to allow this food shipment to return to its original owner.
Give me a persuasion check, please, Rogar. And she
Yes.
says, "Well, in addition to leaving the dragon, you will now leave us all of your gold."
Well, I believe you have negotiated me into some sort of corner that I cannot get out of. So it is time for you to meet my ex.
The moment he says that, I am rushing towards one of these guys, raging to hit him.
Okay, everybody, let's do initiative here.
Well, did anyone else want to say anything before we start?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean to own it like that.
I think you got the right point across.
No, I think we're all in favor.
Friends, I gave you an out. Just remember that when you meet your maker.
My initiative went wrong. Hang on. It gave me all zeros.
Whoa!
That's perfect. I love
That's
that.
not right.
No, it's good. It's good. They all go last.
Well, it didn't do so well on that initiative check anyway. Also, fun point of order, if you guys check your sheets now, you should all have a journal entry for the little dragon, who is going to get a turn. If I can find its token. I'm going to move you over here, Elijah. And I'll let you
I
guys,
love that.
I'll let
As
you guys
a
control it.
baby, as a baby, it does
It
way
has
more
more.
damage with its cold breath.
My God.
As a baby, it has more armor class than me.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
more
yeah,
HP than us.
I love it.
This is the real hero of this story.
We need to find a name for the little dragon.
And it rolled a 7.
We
I'm
found
sure.
it. We found Ichigo.
I'm
or
sure
Naruto.
eventually it turns on us, but
I think we got all this
Yeah,
sorted,
we'll
so
have to pick
Rogar, it's you first.
would you say between this berserker and this priest is 15 feet?
Yeah, it's probably like 12 feet.
So I will charge to here.
Okay.
And use my cold breath to hit both this berserker and this priest.
That sounds good.
So that is let me just make sure. 2d6 cold damage. Oh wow, I thought it was 3. Oh well, I already said I'm doing it.
What's wow? Okay, what's their save? Is it Dex for half?
Con DC 12.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled all right.
Okay, the priest failed, the others passed. So it's.
I don't think it would hit both the berserkers because
Okay.
these are 10 feet squares.
Okay. Is Is a success half damage or no damage?
Half.
Half. Okay, cool.
And I think Rorgar is charging forward, clearly ready to fight. And he's trying to, you can tell he's trying to say something witty, but instead what comes out, he gets caught up on his words and just this cold damage comes out.
It's like he vomits on him.
He's too upset.
And then he looks over at Virian and says, I'm sorry, I got tongue-tied.
I thought you were just speaking in Draconic, but you know.
That takes us to Laja.
Beautiful. Everybody is in range, so I don't have to move. I'm gonna use Channel Divinity. So that would be a con saving throw DC 13.
Let's see, the priest passed. Let's see, the rightmost berserker passed. And sorry, they all passed.
I don't know how I
Okay,
didn't
so then
see.
that'll be half damage, so 6.
So 6.
I don't know how I didn't see how good this Channel Divinity is.
Oh, it's my favorite. I love it.
Oh, it's so good.
And what I will do additionally, I will move a little bit. I'll move over to the wall. And that'll end my turn.
So the guy that's right next to you, Wargar, after you just vomited all over him, he turns to you and attacks you with a giant great axe that he has. However, he is going to recklessly attack you, so you'll get advantage on him. Anyone that attacks him, but it gives him advantage on this attack here.
Okay.
So how's an 18?
18 is my armor class.
So he hits you for 9 damage.
9 damage. No big deal. Let's just watch half my health disappear.
But he's not moving. That's his whole thing. That takes us to you, Guardian.
My final rage against the machine. For the machine. Marching towards here. I think I can. Boop. Yeah, I'm gonna provoke from him. So that berserker I'm provoking from.
No,
Okay.
I think you're still within 5 feet of him, so I think you should be fine.
I think. No, I'm thinking of 40.
You have.
Because I'm still within his melee.
You're in his
right?
melee range. Yeah, you have advantage because of his reckless attack anyway, but you're also adjacent from Horgar. So you're flanking him.
I can't hear anyone.
Did you mean you don't get a opportunity of attack here because you
Hello?
didn't move past him? You're still in his range.
Sorry, I had to reconnect because Discord went red on me. So, do I
Oops.
provoke or not?
You
I
don't.
know if
You're
I-
good.
Okay. Then, yeah, reckless maul attack against the priest.
Oh,
Okay.
hell yeah. Ooh.
19 is a hit, but you should roll again in case you get a crit.
Yeah.
You're rolling so well this session, I feel like.
That is enough. She looks up from Wargar's frost vomit in time to see your maul come down on her head, and with a crunch, she falls over dead. And the other two
Whoa.
berserkers look over at her with shock, actually.
I let out another bear-like roar at them.
But I think
Yes, that is what I meant to say, friend.
that takes us to the next berserker here.
Yeah, this is the priest.
Who actually moves forward his maximum move right here in front of you, Laja. And he takes a swing with his great axe, also recklessly, so he can get advantage. How's a 15?
That won't hit.
Oh, so he misses you. It is now the dragon's turn. I'm so excited to see what you guys do.
Who would like to take the dragon?
Well, it seems like the dragon had a little bit of an affinity for Laja, so I think it makes sense that it would see the berserker attacking Laja and just go and attack it, try to rip that berserker's throat out.
Does have a fly speed of 40, so it can. I think it's 40 or 60, so it can move pretty
60.
fast.
So it can definitely make its way over there.
Yeah. So unless anyone disagrees, I think it just goes here and
That's
Kinda
what I would think. Yeah.
just jumps on that
Use its
berserker's
bite.
face. Yeah.
It does
I'll
still
let
have
that
its
roll
cold
then.
breath it's never used before, or it can bite.
Oh,
I don't think that's a good idea.
well, the roll on the bite was not great.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a 9. So the little dragon takes a bite at this guy, and it just completely misses.
It's still trying to figure out its whole, mouth situation.
Oh, I don't see that in the roll 20.
Yeah, it rolled to GM.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought I was desynced.
Oh, probably because it's a NPC. It just
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
me a message.
That's okay though. He's young. He's learning.
He's a baby.
Sorry, she's
She's a
young.
baby.
She's learning.
But that moves us on to Virion.
Virion is going to get in position over here and follow the dragon's lead and take a hot shot with his bow.
And a 12 will miss.
Damn.
Their AC is 13. I think that's all you got, Virion.
Yep, not a whole lot I can do here.
We move on to Rorgar. You guys do have inspiration also. Don't forget about that.
Rorgar's just going to after using his breath. Rorgar's just going to swing down with his battle axe. Do I have advantage because of where Guardian is?
You do.
Oh wow.
Did it double it automatically? I don't know.
It rolled 2, yeah, the 13 and a 1.
Oof.
I still like that number. That's a good number.
A heavy strike with your battle axe, but the berserker, he looks away from Guardian towards you as you've taken his attention. He's still moving.
And yeah, that'll be it for Rorgar.
Takes us to you, Laja.
Okay, I'm going to take out my warm hammer and I am going to attack the berserker in front of me. And did it attack recklessly last round? I think it did.
It did. You know what? I forgot to do that for Virion too. Virion, if you want to roll another attack, we'll call that because you should have gotten advantage.
So I'll let you do that first.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, sorry. That's no better.
Unfortunately.
How about double 16s?
16 and 16. That will hit. For 7.
Not bad. It's a little baby bit. Every bit helps.
It's
And I'll
another
stay where I am.
strike on this berserker, although it seems to be focused mostly on the dragon at this point. However, this guy who surrounded both you, Guardian and Rorgar, he looks to you, Rorgar, and he attacks recklessly. How's a 23?
Yeah, just a little bit over my 18 AC.
And he hits you for 9 damage.
Oh, I have 9 left. I am knocked out.
And even though it does draw an attack of opportunity after he knocks you down, Rorgar, he is going to move towards the red dragon. So, Guardian, you do get a free attack at, let's see, you do have advantage against him.
Yep.
That's a crit. Wow. Okay. That's 23. After he took down Rogar and he turns to start to go like he was heading towards the dragon, and he leaves an opening. Guardian, and you bring your hammer around and strike him in the side of the head, and he falls over dead.
I like to imagine the strike as it hits, like his head just immediately turns that 90 degree, and he just stands there for a second before he falls forward. Everyone just sees his head twisted.
Oh yeah, it's like a horror movie. Maybe even his hands come up to like grab his head and fix it for a second.
Wait, did you skip my turn?
I did. Sorry, it's your turn, Guardian.
I'm gonna march on up. Reckless maul attack on this guy.
Oh, so close.
A 23 will hit.
15.
The berserker actually turns to the dragon, and he takes a reckless attack on the little guy or little gal for a 17, which I believe will hit.
Yep.
Yes, it will.
He hits the dragon for 9 damage.
She's a tough gal.
The poor baby.
So as he
He's
hits
alive
her,
for an hour and a half and already attacked.
She's gonna grow up tough, to be sure.
as he strikes her, she falls back, and it looks like he's knocked away some of her young, like fresh scales that have not hardened because she's so new. But it's her turn if she'd like to take some vengeance.
She will take some vengeance. She's gonna bite.
Hell yeah.
Double 23, that will hit. 13.
Oh wow.
She's very angry now.
So what happens is the little dragon, so I guess as this guy was swooping down, his hammer or his great axe, he hits her, but she jumps up the great axe, follows it up, does the move where like she jumps at his head and he falls over, and she viciously bites his throat, and it kills him.
I like that for her.
And
Okay,
that
I'm
takes us
gonna
out of
head
combat.
over to Rorgar. I only have one spell slot left, so let's use that. You'll feel much better with 16 points of healing.
16. Oh. I think Rorgar just pops up. His eyes just burst open. Huh! Did we win? Have we won the fight?
You did it
We
all,
did.
buddy.
I did. Thank you, Torm and Bahamut. And maybe a slight assist to Lathander.
I saw that the meat from Lonelywood was around the corner. We should grab that and probably head out of here before anybody else comes back.
Virion would like to walk over to the dragon and cast Cure Wounds on her. If I can remember how to do that.
Isn't Cure Wounds 1d6 plus your spell modifier?
Yeah, 1d8 plus your spell
1d8
count.
plus 1, yeah. I just had to figure out how to get it set up. That's perfect.
It's something. It's something.
You know what? Sometimes it's the thought that counts.
I will do my best to care for this tiny creature.
So she looks up at you, Virion, as some of her wounds close a little bit, and she blinks, and then she turns back to the berserker that she killed, and she kind of looks at it for a minute. She opens her mouth, and a little jet of frost, she freezes over its arm, and then she immediately begins to bite at it and tear at it with pieces of meat as she consumes its arm very quickly in front of you.
I pat her on the back and say, "You're never going to do anything wrong."